Today is Thursday, March 4. I'm Pastor Michael, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Today our text comes from Isaiah 19. The fishermen will groan and lament, all who cast hooks into the Nile. Those who throw nets on the water will pine away. Those who work with combed flax will despair. The weavers of fine linen will lose hope. The workers in cloth will be dejected, and all the wage earners will be sick at heart. Verses 8 through 10. I imagine that few of you have heard any sermons on Isaiah 19, let alone devotions. My digital filing cabinet has nothing on this chapter. To my surprise, I have preached a sermon on it, but it is based on the end of the chapter, not the verses of our text. This chapter is a prophecy against Egypt. It can be summarized simply as, the Lord of Israel is coming, Egypt is in trouble. Does this prophecy have value for us today? I think so. Let me explain. First, it's important to pay attention to the opening words. The God of Israel is coming, and the idols of Egypt tremble, verse 1. In ancient culture, the gods were everything. The Pharaohs of Egypt considered themselves children of the gods. All power flowed through them and from them. Politics and religion were one and the same. Also, everything in Egypt depended on the Nile and its yearly flood. And of course, the gods controlled the Nile. So if the Nile dries up, commerce fails. That's our text. People believed that this meant their gods were unhappy with them, or that they had lost some battle against other gods. In this chapter, the answer to Egypt's coming problems is that their gods and politicians are out of sync with the purposes of God Almighty, the God of Israel. Therefore, God is coming to judge them. A chapter such as this is a reminder that when people neglect God, there will be trouble. Nations have always done this and will continue to do this until Jesus returns. No nation or political leader can fully embody the kingdom of Jesus. Certain policies may, but not all. This should give us pause in our politics. As citizens of democratic nations, we are called upon to vote in elections. However, we should give limited and somewhat muted support to any political leader, regardless of party affiliation. This passage reminds us to put our hope in God, not in the politics or politicians of this world. In the end, God will judge all nations, and all will be found wanting. I think there is also a warning here against the increasingly religious language in politics these days. Despite the Western effort to separate politics and religion, our political discourse is sounding awfully religious these days. It is easy for us as Christians to get caught up in this rhetoric. There is also the temptation to believe that some political party or candidate will set things right. The Bible continually warns us against this. There's also this. God's judgment is never an end in itself. Our God doesn't judge just because. Rather, he comes in judgment in the hope that people will return to him. Towards the end of the chapter, we read this. In that day, there will be an altar to the Lord in the heart of Egypt, and a monument to the Lord at its border. Egypt will become a major contributor to the things of God. Here is part of the biblical picture that the new heavens and earth will be populated by people from all nations. I don't think there is much value in trying to figure out when and how this will all happen. Rather, these prophecies give content to our prayers and spur us on to love those who are different from ourselves. As you journey on, go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you wherever he may send you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm. May your day end with rejoicing at the wonders he has shown you. May you rest in his provision as he brings night and then new dawn.